Shalom, everyone. This is my fourth time making the video. They want me to keep on making the video. They know I have OCD, so I'm very peculiar about, what I'm saying, how I'm saying it to make sure, because this is going out to the elect, the chosen. So I want to make sure that I'm crossing on my I's and dotting my T's to the best of my ability. There's a saying that I live by, right? It's saying that if you're not respectable, I don't need your respect, right? And what I mean by that is, if you're not good in your own hood, we have nothing to converse about. There's nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? So these are the type of persons we're dealing with right now. This is the characteristics of the people who they've tried to say has smeared our name. They've only smeared our name because they are who they say we are, right? I guarantee you, everything that they have said about us, we know isn't true, but we know it is for them. We know that these people are witches, warlocks, pedophiles, pansexuals, robbers, rapers, murderers. The list goes on, right? This is how they cover their tracks. When you have a collective of people who do things secretly, collectively, and then you have us who are outsiders, who outlaws, who don't conform, and who don't, who aren't controlled or concerned with being in the in crowd, well then that makes them stand out by default, because essentially what they're saying to us, right, is who are we? And they know who we are. It's a redundant question, rhetorical, if you will. They're saying, who are we that we wouldn't join their cesspool? Well, if you know a cesspool contains shit, who would want to wallow around in shit all day? Excuse my language. They know that the Most High did not harden our heart. He actually gave us hearts. We actually have souls. We are in a soulless place, i.e. Babylon, right? So we know that the people who we encounter on a day-to-day who we may have thought were upstanding citizens, pillars in their community, your mom, your dad, your brother, your wife, your husband, we know now to be Luciferians. We know them now to be just like the Truman Show, right, that I just watched, right? We know them to be a facade, fake, phony. Everything was set up. You know how on the Truman Show when Truman saw that picture of his wife, allegedly wife, right, and she had her fingers crossed? That's who we've been dealing with. We've been dealing with these type of people. Everything they've said, promises, I love you, I'll be there for you. Everything has been with the fingers crossed behind their back. So what I'm saying is, if we know these people worship Satan, they cover for Satan, lie for Satan, do the will of Satan, work for Satan, then who are we dealing with? Satan. And who are they? Satan's slaves. So going back to what I'm saying, if you're not respectable, I don't want your respect. I don't need your respect. I don't care what you feel about me, because you yourself aren't respectable. You aren't even a citizen. You're a peasant. You're below a citizen. You know what I mean? So and where I'm coming from is, I study a lot. I'm yearning for information on this topic. Brothers and sisters going through the same things. Excuse me. Because this is my life. So in anything, whether it was management, whether it was sales, whether it was food, any position I've held, I've always embarrassed myself in it so I can learn it and not become it, but do the best I could, right, in that position that I accepted. And that's the same thing with this. If this is my life, why would I not want to know everything about it? We know that a lot of people we cannot trust. We know that there are a lot of false targets. Look, watch out for the one-eye symbolism, the black and white colors, the hand over the eye. Women get real slick with the hair. They have duality, so one hair be in the front, the other be behind them. Pink, red, and white. Sometimes, and I'm not trying to gaslight anyone or make them, become aware, but knowing is half the battle. So if you felt an inkling that maybe this person wasn't who they say they were, and then, they say two minds are better than one. So I'm just putting some information out there. A lot of them like to, talk about everything that they've gone through with no proof. You know, a lot of times we don't care. We'll be outside in our car, walking to the grocery store, wherever we need to be, and we'll take a video of what's going on. Why? Because we need documentation. So I just want to say, watch out for those persons who are out here who fake. There's a lot. I'm going to start naming them pretty soon when I get some time. They're not, fake people aren't on my priority. You know what I mean? The real people are. My brothers and sisters who go through this real, you guys are my priority. So I'm not worried about them, but it is crucial because if you have people coming into the knowledge who may not be aware, and they they know that people are going to emotionally take to people who are going through what they're going through, especially when they don't think, like how we thought in the beginning, this was really legit. You really feel like you're the only one going through this, so on and so forth. All right, so getting back to what I'm saying about the people, we no longer need to care about the smear campaign, the defamation of character. The only aspect we care about that is monetary. But as far as walking out here and caring about, we've been bamboozled, right? The problem is we were the sheep the whole time. We were the ones who actually thought that the world was what is on TV. It was never like it was on TV. Family Matters, Brady Bunch, so on and so forth. Never. That's the ideal that they give you. That's America's dream. Family is really, unfortunately, chaos, drug addicts, perversion, Luciferian, witchcraft, as we can tell from our own experiences. So what they fed us is an illusion. And the only people who bought it were us, because we're the pure at heart. The Most High says, let a man examine himself, and so eat of that bread and drink of that cup. Ye who eateth and drinketh unworthy, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sleep among you. Sleep is death. They're dead. It may not be physical. A lot of times it's spiritual. So we are dealing with a lot of dead people. But, I'm going to say that 60% of these people are dead by choice. And I look at some of the things that these people have and don't have, and I'm like, wow. The things that I've obtained by the mercy and the grace of the Most High Yah, I didn't have to sell my soul for it. And I see a lot of us have possessions or have possessions that exceeded the people who we'll follow around daily. And none of us are old. You know what I mean? Half the people I'm around majority of the time are in my age group or older. We know they have kids and so on and so forth, but because where I live at, that's the demographic. But getting back, on subject, let's not be concerned with the opinions of Satan and his evildoers. It matters none to any of us, right? I know it sucks, but the main thing that sucks for me, right, was that I was fooled because I didn't pride myself, but I held myself to a standard, right, to saying that you couldn't get me. You can't finesse a finesser. Not to say I finesse, but I'm a salesman. And so I'll look out for loopholes. I'll look out for traps. And it just sucks for me as a man that I was able to be led in the trap the whole time. I'm just grateful to the Most High that he allowed me and he dug me out to the Marley clay in time. Because, we understand that this is fourth quarter, as I was saying before, and, times are crucial. And I just thank the Most High that he allowed me to go through this now, prior to me just, living life, and I could have been blind. I could not have heard his voice. I could have accepted the call of Satan and continued to live a dreamland like Truman. I could have never woke up. But, like Truman, he woke up and he exposed the people. And that's what we must do. We must expose the people around us. So I don't want to ramble here. Excuse me. But my whole purpose was, one thing we need to stop doing today is, and I'm guilty of it, is concern with the ideas and opinions of Satan and his workers. We know these people are evil. Look at what they do. They say that the Most High will know us by our works. And it's blasphemous that these demons walk around as if there's no God, there's no Yah, there's no creator, right? We know what God means. And if there's no hell, right? They walk around like there's going to be no repercussions, no karma. And the great thing about that is that when it does hit them, it'll hit them like a ton of bricks. They'll never see it coming. The Most High says he comes like a thief in the night. And a lot of people, right, he says people are going to be drinking, they're going to be married. What does he mean? He means that people are going to be out here drunk, in the streets, pardon like it's 1999. He's going to come swiftly. And I honestly believe the Most High is going to allow us to know ahead of time through our elders, the real elders in this program, when we should move and how we should move. Right? A lot of us are going to get that inkling. But, in closing, I just want to say be encouraged. We know it's rough out here. But, the difference thing, and another thing that I had to realize, when I look at myself and I'm like, damn, I worked all I worked all these years of trying to, buy a house and, have this whole family. One thing I realized that it's all a joke. That's what helps me keep my peace. Is one, that it's not me. I'm not a lazy person. I work for what I want. I work hard. I'm diligent, as we all are. We all have the same characteristics. You know what I mean? And I have to lift myself up in scripture and song because, sometimes we do get weak because you're used to a lifestyle. But then when you realize it was a facade, it was controlled, that's why you really never excelled to the point where you felt like you should, it's because they were knocking us down. So it's not by our own will that we are where we're at. We know Most High, like he did Job, right? When he ushered Job in and he tested him. Because, and the thing I'll say about this, Satan is so dumb, right? Because when the Most High petitioned Job, Satan was so foolish and ignorant and so full of himself that he must not have considered that the Most High was going to prepare Job, hallelujah, to win the battle. Why would you not think that the Most High wouldn't prepare us to win the battle? Why would you not think that? If he petitioned us to go through war, why wouldn't he then prepare us to win the war? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So, I believe the Most High laughs like we laugh, like we should. And he also laughed at Satan when the Satan said, well, you take everything from him. Like the Most High knew he wasn't going to petition it. Like, the Most High wouldn't then build courage up in Job as he did to win that battle. So I just want to close because, sometimes the ignorance of others really frustrates me. But when you understand that it's not mind control, right? Because we know that, let me tell you something. A woman said this, and it hit my soul, right? She said, if they were mind controlled, you wouldn't have to pay them. Let Country Wayne say, let this sizzle in your spirit. If they were on mind control, you wouldn't have to compensate them. They're dumb enough. What do you need to give dummies a bunch of money for? And then I'm gonna leave this. You know why black people don't get reparations? Because they don't deserve it. And I don't mean the 1/3, I mean the 2/3, right? Let me tell you why. And let me tell you how it's a smack in the face, right? So we know the powers that be control everything, right? It would behoove them, right? It would be, and anybody who knows investment, stocks, bonds, CDs, knows that it would be like investing in themselves. Why? Because black people, all they do, so-called black, is drink, smoke, right? And I'm not downgrading my own people, I'm stating facts. We're going to talk about the majority here. By Italian, French, all these other clothesline that's not black owned, right? Not black made. They're gonna buy cars that are not American or black made. So they're putting money in their hands. Crime rate's gonna go up because niggas gonna have all the money in the world and they're still gonna rob each other, right? That's why the Most High say he's gonna wash the 2/3 away. So, the fact that the enemy wouldn't even give so-called black people money that they would receive tenfold off taxes, they would get their money back and then some. The fact that they won't even invest in themselves is a smack in the face to black people. The fact that black people don't understand that is they're smacking them own selves, right? And they don't deserve reparations. You know why? Because if you can turn on your brother, you cry, oh, police brutality, injustice, welfare, all this other junk that and then you turn around and then you have an arc against your brother, who we've been sent here to help you dummies wake up, you deserve it. Shalom.